Alright, Big Queso bought a wrecked, someone hit a deer with it, but it's a Tahoe from Veterans Affairs, and we're going to see if it's going to work. We're going to go out here and try it out. He's been tearing all the radiator and everything out of it. I got an idea that it's probably going to shoot transmission fluid and oil and all that power steering fluid all over the place, but you're ready to find out. Here she is.
Let me put those deals back on there temporarily, and then I think that.
All right, you know the deal, Dad. If there's cigarettes in the ashtray and the lighter works, you got to smoke one of them. That's the rule. If you get a new vehicle, if there's cigarettes in the ashtray, you got to do it.
Yeah, well, you know, this was a veteran's vehicle, so.
That's why I said it's a new vehicle. You better get ready.
Could be more than a cigarette in the ashtray.
Left-handed one. Did you even check the oil?
Yeah, I checked it.
Oh, I thought you were going to pull the Jacob move, just say screw it. It's fired up anyways.
I paid some money for this.
Hey man, if it ain't leaking, it doesn't have any oil in it, man.
All right, full of fuel.
Hopefully that's not because it's bull. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Caleb Morrison. This is Caleb's Diesel and Fabrication. If you like fabricating stuff, if you like working on diesel vehicles, this is a great place to be because we're going to do it all. Alright guys, so far I'm really liking this setup. It was a little bit tricky to get this box in there, and I'll show you up here in the front. So up here you've got two bolts that hold that box into place, and they use this plate. So you got this bolt right here and this bolt right here. They're both quarter 20. They're about 2.5 inches long. So once you get this plate on there and tight, which I did, then I was able to get the box in there. So the first thing you run into is when you make those new holes, you have to stick them through the firewall, and then also at the same time there is spacers that go right there. You can see one that goes up against the firewall that goes to the box. So those spacers are on the inside. So the problem with that is it's a two-man job. So you gotta have one person to stick the bolt in from the firewall, or the outside of the firewall, to the inside where you put the spacer in, and then get the bolt started blindly because you can't see it. So it's a two-man job. All in all, it's good. I ended up running some self-tapping screws up here in the top. It only has 2 spots, and I just really didn't like the way that was holding up, so I did overkill because I know this truck's going to get abused. I put 4 screws in total, and I think that one is not really good, so I'll probably redo it, but I gave it a little too much mustard. Imagine that. So I'm gonna take that one out. Anyways, I'll put one more in there, but I like the way it's set up. You can see there's the controls where they hook in. You got your ducts here. That's for the defrost, this side and that side. And then you also have some more defrost, or more vents that go to the other side. So all in all, that's not bad. I think it turned out pretty good. I got my connections. This is for the heater core here and here. And then you got a high pressure side and low pressure side that'll go up to the front. So it's going to turn out pretty good. I mean, the firewall looks so much better with all that stuff tucked in there and gone. Pretty happy with the way it turned out. So yeah, we're going to keep on trudging along, see if we can get it hooked up. What else we got going on? All right, guys, got done with this door today. You can tell it stiffened it up quite a bit. I dislike welding on really thin metal. It makes it hard to weld, but came out pretty good. We got a lot done today. You know, for what we were able to accomplish is quite a bit. I mean, we got this thing completely set in here, got this panel on, got the HVAC box in for the, well, gotta love it. Got for the vintage air set in there and got it all done. And then I was able to get this piece completely cut out. It took me a while to get it cut out and get it welded in the door, but got it done. I got the door cut down a perfect fit, so it's really ready to be mounted. Craig helped me today. We put new door pins, made these tight. They were super loose before. So anyways, got both of those done. We ended up tidying up some of the wires over here on the firewall. This is the wire that goes down to the starter and alternator in the old big block that was in this truck. And I'm gonna use 2 of the wires for sure, but anyway, just tidied them up, cleaned them up. Just threw a lot of the wiring, threw away some of the junk that was from the inside. We got the vintage air controls in. It's looking pretty trick. I really like the way it's set up. Just got a lot done today. I just need to get this door done on this side tomorrow, and man, this weekend to be really a lot of labor and a lot of progress that we've been needing to make. So I'm hoping you're enjoying it. Sometimes it's slow, but it's part of it, part of the journey, one piece at a time, a little bit more every day. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, I got a couple of pro tips for you. I got this door kind of fit up. It's looking pretty good. All right, so on these doors, when you've got original doors that came on the truck, it's kind of nice because if you look at the door, oh, I'm bleeding, great. Okay, anyways, you can see the paint lines kind of where they used to be, and one thing you can do is if you get it set right and that's where you like it, you can get a paint pen and you can make new lines where exactly you got it set. I'm going to take this door off so I can cap the bottom, but you can see where the old paint was and where the new paint line right here is going to be. That way when you go to put the door back on, it's set up perfectly. So it works out pretty good that way. I've never done this before on cutting the door in half basically and boat siding the truck, but I'm pretty sure that it's going somewhat smooth because the door actually shuts like it's supposed to. So we're making some progress. Morning, guys. Yesterday got a lot done. It's Sunday today. Got a little bit more to do, but I'm pretty excited because I can put this door on the passenger side because I got it welded up. One thing I did do, which is kind of a little bit of a hiccup yesterday, whenever I was trying to get the bolt started, you know, trying to do it out here by myself, I cross-threaded the bolt a little bit. So me in the old days would have just took an impact and ran it in, but it doesn't do anybody any good because later on you're going to have to take it back out, and you know, it's just not a good situation. So one thing I have done that I'm pretty glad that I made a change in my life on this is I'm always good at you know, if there's a better tool out there, I'm going to buy it, and I don't mind, you know, the cost is irrelevant whenever you need it. So anyways, I invested in a really nice snap-on tap and die set, so I'll show you guys that. I'm thankful because whenever you have this, it doesn't matter, this is a master set, so most of the stuff that is in it, I'm going to be working on is going to be in this kit. So this is pretty cool. It has a little bit of everything in it. You know, you have your taps, your dies. It comes with all the hardware. It even comes with a thread gauge, so you can actually take this out, and I'll show you guys. You can take this out and you can find out what thread pitch that is on the threads, you know, match it up, and you can be for 100% certain that it's going to work. So I like that. It's got all the necessary tools you need, and it also, if you want to get in depth with different sizes and fractions, it has all of those as well. It tells you literally what drill bit size if you're going to retap something, so there's no guessing. So anyways, back to what I was saying, I kind of messed up the thread. So here's the great thing. I don't know what that was, but here's the great thing about it is, you know, I messed up the threads a little bit on this door, and I'm getting ready to put it on. I just went over, took one of my bolts from my door and put it in the set. It ended up being a 3/8 with a 16 thread pitch. If it'll focus. Anyways, but I just used this bolt, checked it out, it threads on there perfectly, and then you can see here I just thread it in there, thread it back out, and it's like butter. So we'll go ahead and try it and see, and you'll see when you pull these out and you look at them, you see the rust, and sometimes you'll see a little bit of metal shavings from where, you know, I ran it in there like I wasn't supposed to. So we'll just see what happens now. Oh yeah, like butter. There's literally no effort, so it's gonna work great. You know, guys, I used to just run it in with impact and hammer down, but getting older and a little bit more experience, I'm learning that, you know, you might as well just do it right the first time. Next time it's not near as hard, and you know, you got the right tools, you can do that. And I think that was some of it back in the day, is I didn't have the right tools, but I'm better now, and you know what, I'm going to use the right tool for the job. So I'm getting older and getting a little bit wiser in that aspect. Hey guys, another tip here. So when you're welding on thin sheet metal, doors, any thin metal, give yourself a chance. I'm here working on finishing up the bottom of this door, just kind of tacking a few places. And one thing I have learned over the years is turn your heat down on your welder a little bit, and that way you give yourself a chance and you can do a spot weld, and it's so much easier to be patient. And with me, I learned how to weld hot and really fast, and that's great for thicker metal, but on something that's, you know, as thin as 1/8 inch even, you can burn through in a heartbeat. So turn your heat down a little bit and give yourself a chance. You can go slow and you can get good penetration on this especially on the base metal. This is just 1/8 inch thin stuff, but the door skin is even thinner than that. And so I'm just trying to go through here and make sure I got a good weld. It's kind of harder to do because you can't hang out long enough on your weld to make it, you know, really penetrate. But you know, if you will hang in there and just be patient and just kind of hit your trigger a couple of times and just work it a little bit, you can slowly make it all the way down. It does take more time and you have to be more patient. But another thing that I was going to touch on as well is make sure that whenever you're doing this, that, you know, you start, I didn't really mention this before, but make sure you start in one area and you tack it all the way down through. And the reason you want to do that is if you start welding and you start, you know, start in this one area down here and you start really welding and you just start in one spot, you're going to heat this piece up and it's going to warp this thin metal. Now on thicker metal, you don't got to worry about that because it's not going to warp a piece of 3/8 plate, because unless you got it super hot. But with a MIG welder, you don't have to worry about that. But on this thin stuff, if you just start at one spot and you just start hammering down and just going down the whole side and just, you know, making a circle, you're going to warp the metal. So it's just easier when you're doing thin stuff. Start at one end, get a couple of tacks, you know, get your clamp and clamp it together and tack it all the way around. And then not only that, do a spot weld. You know, do an inch here, do an inch there, do an inch down here. And the reason you're doing that is you're spreading the heat, and by the time you get back down to the other spots and you finish it up, you're not gonna have to worry about it warping on you. If you just can't hammer down, like on thick metal, you can hammer down and not have to worry about the heat warping, you know, a piece of 3/8 plate. But on this type of stuff, if you really heat it up, it's going to warp. Something's going to deform. And so I try to, you could see, I did kind of make a little, match the profile. And so what I did is I just welded some tabs so I could pull this up on each side. And I thought it worked pretty good. I know you guys probably saw that on the previous footage, but you can always clean that up. I just took it off. But anyways, I think it worked good. And you know, this side's pretty much done. I was just making sure I was all good. I'm going to take the flat disc and clean this up a little bit more to make sure it's smooth, and hopefully find out a way to maybe put a door seal on the bottom, so if we go through water or mud, it isn't just coming in like a boat that's going underwater. So just a couple of tips on welding this thin stuff, guys. All right guys, huge progress being made. I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. We ended up getting both the doors done, got them mounted up. They're looking good. Everything came out pretty good. I like the way that they set up on the truck. I mean, it's all together. Not my best welds on the bottom, but you know what? Good enough for the old rock crawler. So closes pretty good. Got this side. Came together pretty good. Just like the way it looks, like this. It's all coming together. Craig got the firewall pretty much all the way done with some of that Noiko sound deadening mat all the way across. So that's going to be great for you know, later on down the road whenever we're worried about the AC and everything hitting at the same time, or the heat, whichever way we are. It's going to make it a lot more comfortable on the trail. Shit's pretty good. I think it's going to be good enough for a rock crawler. One thing I might have to take into consideration maybe down the road is possibly putting something maybe right here where the door jamb closes to kind of seal up, like a piece of weather strip or something, to just try to maybe keep the wind noise down. But we're going to try it first, see what it does. My new door hinges are on. We put new door hinges with the bushings in here. That was kind of fun. Never done that before. And one thing I did, guys, that I was kind of on the fence about, and I know the front of these trucks are kind of known when you start putting these big tires on them and you start putting the PSC steering boxes, the hydro assist, you're just putting a lot of torque on the front horn of the frame, especially on the driver's side. So it's got a cross member in it. You know what, I went ahead and just went all out and I put a bigger cross member in, 2-inch quarter wall tubing, and then I put triangulated pieces in here that also hook up. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's going to be a lot stronger than it would have been without it, and I think you're not going to break that cross member. Which also up here in the front, there's going to be another bumper set up that'll be a winch mount as well. So I'm going to put a Warn winch on the front, so it's gonna be good and stout. I know I'm gonna abuse it, and I'm gonna be using the winch, I'm sure, a lot. So I want to make for 100% certainty that the front of this truck is gonna be stout and strong. And I feel like some days I'm going super overkill on this truck in a lot of areas, but I just want to do it once, and while we're here, it's easy to get to and weld. I might as well just hammer down, you know. So got a lot of my bracing done. I'm pretty happy with the setup. Got the RTVs all set up on this panel for the vintage air kit. Really like the way and how clean that turned out. Pretty excited about how things are going. It's going super smooth. I'm just loving it. I feel like we're on the break. I mean, once I get my fuel line in that I ordered, it's Earl's ProFlex 350, I think is what it's called. But I'm ordered it. So I can put my fuel cell up. I also ordered some fittings for my oil cooler, fittings for the hydraulic power steering setup, so I'm going to put a cooler on that as well. I already got the fittings already for the transmission cooler. So I mean, I got a lot of plumbing to do, but for all things considered here, I can go ahead and put I can put the front clip on, radiator in, and the fenders, and start seeing on those fenders how far I'm going to have to trim or cut. Because I did move this axle about 2 inches forwards or so to get it to fit, and I had to do that just for the clearance here behind the tire and the firewall, because I didn't want it to hit. This axle is just massive. This Super Duty Dana 60, just a big axle. It's beefy, and I'm glad I did, because when you got it turned all the way to right or left, it's super close to the back here, but it's got enough where I'm still comfortable. So I'm super happy with it. I did get some of the wiring yesterday that I am going to use with my Terminator X system cleaned up, so I'm not going to need it to be all hanging out. I got a few mystery wires here that I've looked through some of the diagrams that I'm going to have to see if I actually need them. I cut them with a little bit of extra on the end in case I do need them. This is the headlight harness that goes to the front. I had to order me one of those because the guy that had this truck before me did a little hack job on it. But anyways, I'm finding out a couple of new things. Popped the dent out on this door while we had the door panel off. So I'm really liking the way it's set up. What do you guys think? I'm thinking about maybe leaving the paint like it is because I just like the way this two-tone paint's set up, but I also was thinking about just repainting it, you know. It's just going to be the cab, the hood, the fenders, basically. Tell me what you guys think. You think I should go ahead and repaint it? What's your opinion? Now, I like the way the old square body two-tone setups look. It's got the dark blue on the top over the light blue. It didn't have any pinstriping or anything like that on it that I can tell, but it doesn't mean I can't get it. But I'm just interested to see what you guys think. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I like the way the old two-tone looks, but again, I think it'll be sweet either way. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. This weekend, I guess you could say, I kind of got a lot accomplished, a lot done. Everything's going smooth. You know, I think we're kind of on the downhill slope in a lot of areas. I'm loving it. I'm starting to enjoy some of the finer processes here of putting this truck together. I'm gonna have to start doing some wiring, which in the past hasn't been my favorite thing, but that's okay because I'm here to learn and I'm here to be a student of the game here. So appreciate you guys watching. If you can, comment on my deal, tell me what I'm doing, right or wrong, indifferent. Like it, share it, subscribe, please. Follow me. This isn't gonna be my last project or my last square body I work on. I have a sickness for them. I tell my brother-in-law and everyone that they follow me home, it seems like all the time, and I just really like these old trucks. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Have a good one. All right, I'm back. It's Saturday at the shop. Got a lot going on, and you guys are well aware kind of where we're at in the project. Okay, so I kind of made up my mind. I think what I'm going to do, and I haven't done it, haven't bought them yet, but I'm going to put some toolboxes. They're Buyer's brand toolbox. I'm going to put them right here, and they fold out. They're kind of like an underbody truck toolbox. I want to put them on either side. I found the perfect size, I think. But right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to build the headache rack. I'd like to start working on it. I picked up all my material for the headache rack yesterday, but I kind of need a box, which I guess I could build a mock-up box. They're 18 by 18 by 18, so not really a big deal, but I need to find a way while I'm waiting on those boxes to get here to mock something up. So I'll probably use some sheet metal and just make something real quick. But my goal is to start working on the roll cage and start working on the bed and kind of seeing where everything ends up. Another thing I need to do is today I need to measure for my limiting straps for the back of the 4-link. I have not ordered those yet, but I will. I just need to see how far it flexes out and how much travel we got, and then order those accordingly. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully I'll get some fabrication done. That's my goal on the bed. It's come a long ways, the truck in the front, but sometimes you get to where you're like, oh, I've been working on the front for so long, I'd like to work on the back. So I'm gonna work on the back today, so you guys can come along and check it out. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing, and I'm looking forward to it. The weather here in Oklahoma is starting to get a little bit warmer. The weeds are growing, so that's a good sign that summer's not that far off. We get a lot of weeds around here, but I'm excited. It's a great day. Sun's out, it's not raining. This week we had a ton of rain, but inside the shop, it's perfect all the time, no matter if I turn the heater on or open the doors. It's great. So appreciate you guys watching. Here we go.